We are having a conversation with Cheryl Poth from the University of Alberta, and we're going to be talking today about a keynote address she's giving at the 9th World Conference on Qualitative Research. There's an online week, a couple of days dedicated, February 11th to 13th. We're going to have her be telling us more. I'll let her give the title of her keynote. We'll talk about that topic because the topic not only is addressed in the keynote, but it's something that you've done work on for quite a while, Cheryl, and really I love your passion about this particular topic. So really looking forward to that. And as you see with me is not only Cheryl, but Jeff Petrozelli, our qualitative research specialist at Research Talk. I think what we'll do is just cue to you, Cheryl. February 12th is the date, as FYI for everyone. When the recording finishes, there will be a slide giving you information about the website, registration information, more looking up the conference if you're able to attend, especially the online portion. The part that's in line is in Krakow, Poland. It may not have enough time for you to venture to Poland this year, but you can keep note of the conference. It's a wonderful event. And if you haven't heard about it before, we're happy to give you that exposure. So Cheryl, yeah, tell us about the keynote, give us the title and a little bit about kind of what really keeps you excited and motivated to keep working in the area related to the topic.
Thanks, Ray. Really happy to be here with you and have the chance to talk about this. So the title of my keynote is Unlocking the Potential of Qualitatively Oriented Mixed Methods Research. And so you see there a little bit about qualitative and you see a little bit about mixed methods. And sometimes those worlds are seen apart. And what we want to do is kind of bring them together. In my work in mixed methods, I often hear folks who are hesitant to actually to give up some of their true foundational roots in qualitative research and venture into mixed methods because they're worried that perhaps they might be giving up something. And so one of the things that this category of mixed methods designs does is I think it really honors the work of qualitative research, what it is, who does it, and allows us to also bring that together with the other world of mixed methods, which sometimes is appropriate. Maybe we have existing data we want to draw upon. Maybe we have just access to having some instruments that kind of make sense. And so it just, this talk then is really about how do we begin to think about that? How do we maybe step into that world a little bit? And so what I really want to do is to acknowledge, this idea of when you're qualitative research, you have a particular way of seeing and being in the world. And doesn't mean you have to give it up when you decide that you want to begin to step it, maybe, toe into the world of mixed methods as well. And so to remind folks about how I define and many define mixed methods research, at least in the way that I'm talking about it, it is the combination of qualitative and quantitative research, as opposed to multi-method, where you might have more than one qualitative or more than one quantitative, or you might even have one of each, but you might not be going to the next step of integration. And so now in the field of mixed methods, it's really about that you would embark in a qualitatively oriented mixed methods if you were interested in generating new insights from the combination, prioritizing the qualitative, but with some sort of quantitative data, perspectives, research, that kind of way. So in my talk that I want to talk about that critical component of integration that I often say, if we don't have integration, then we probably don't have mixed methods. And then the idea of is there evidence of coming from it from a qualitative perspective? And so we can use lots of different types of intersections with existing designs. For example, there's lots of great work being done in grounded theory mixed methods, case study mixed methods, ethnography mixed methods, you name it, it's probably out there. And this category is just a way of seeing designs that are more qualitatively oriented. You will also see in the literature people who use qualitatively prioritized, qualitatively driven. I see those as basically interchangeable, maybe some slight differences, but I kind of like the oriented because that's how I've come at it from a research perspective. In this talk, I'm going to talk about a couple of examples about how I came to it. in those different worlds, and I work in both of those. In qualitative and mixed methods, I'm going to talk about working with other researchers on a couple of projects, one around literacy gaps in children and what a qualitatively oriented mixed methods design allowed us to use some of the literacy assessments, but also be able to contextualize those in order to have a different kind of way of or insights from the teacher perspective on the student assessments. And so that was really important. Particularly, that work came out of work that was happening in the pandemic, and with a researcher who said, "Mixed methods will never come to my world." And so that was or qualitative. So this is somebody, who really embraced then the ways that and what qualitative oriented mixed methods can bring to their work that was more quantitative for a long time.
Right. So there's so much kind of thinking about kind of your evolution in this and seeing, you've done so much teaching with us on this. I know you've taught about your own and a little bit of writing, as we know, on this as well. So as you continue thinking about you as methodologists, what's in the works about this? This, of course, is a keynote. But yeah, tell us about you and, on this topic and what you hope to continue communicating and, kind of what you might be doing in written form in this regard.
Well, I think it really allows me to kind of tease apart probably some of the dilemmas that I've had as both a mixed methods researcher and a qualitative researcher. And it's always like the bridge in between. So it allows me to speak about, how do ethical considerations become intensified when we're doing qualitatively oriented mixed methods? How do the problems, that I can address with that shift even on what kind of qualitative approach I'm using within this larger design? And then what about my audiences? Who can I reach through maybe this innovative design that maybe I couldn't by using either mixed methods or qualitatively research? And so I just think it's really interesting that it reminds me of it's like the nexus, and sometimes I haven't been able to get to a problem in this way, or maybe even reach an audience, or and to bring together. And I do think by working in this area, I think differently about both qualitative and about mixed methods. So I actually see by working in this area as a place for growth for myself as well. And I really appreciate being able to look at my experiences and think about how then can I write about what I'm learning about and help people who are beginning in this area.
So why would you recommend that somebody attend go online on February 12th and watch your keynote?
Well, I think there's going to be some great other keynotes as well. So I always want to give a shout out to all the other people who are talking at this conference and the organizers and the work that's being done. I think even getting a global perspective. I mean, this conference is housed out of Europe, and I think that gives us in North America just a different viewpoint of what's going on and the types of issues that are being studied in our fields. So I think that's really important. You get to hear interesting people. It's it's happening across time zones and people. So I think that kind of idea of just bringing the world together at this time is a nice way to continue our own development as researchers in general. And then the other thing is that I just think we have a lot of things going on in the world that can benefit from different ways of doing things. And I think that will help us to kind of begin to think about this. And if you have any contributions that you want to make from a methodological perspective, I want to give a shout out to my colleague, Dr. Charlene Hess-Biber, who is has a call currently out for the Journal of Mixed Methods Research. And you can find that for articles that contribute to our methodological understanding and practice in the world of qualitatively driven mixed methods research.
Right. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, Charlene's a big part of the community that you, of course, are core to as well, helping really people think deeply in really important ways about mixed methodology. So wonderful. Yeah, Jeff, anything on your mind as we move to closure on this topic?
Yeah, Cheryl, I know this is something that you brought up. I know when we've talked about this and classes that you've taught for us and with our team, that word integration really always comes to the forefront for me. I love that idea of, it's not just mixed methods and qualitative. It's how do they meet together? How do they work together? So if you could just talk a little bit more specifically about that word integration. I just love that word and the image that it really produces.
Well, and I think I have to give a shout out to Ray on this. I think you talk about the dialogue and the conversation between,
Talkbacks.
yeah, the talk back between those. And I think it's this idea that it's not just an add-on. It really is a way of seeing being, in your research when you are coming from an orientation that's more qualitative, but yet there's a a pluralistic mindset that allows you to see the value and be able to bring together disparate ways of data that's collected or designing. Or so integration can happen across the whole process of research. It can happen at the kind of conceptualization, it can happen at the design, it can happen at the data, it can happen at the discussion, it can happen all the way across. And so it is just that idea of being upfront about where and how you are integrating in order to get these hopefully new insights from that integration. And that's always the goal, is to find out something new that wasn't accessible by either qualitative or quantitative alone.
Beautiful.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for giving us more information and both really letting people know about the resource that conference provides, and of course, the information that you continue to do and helping our qualitative and mixed methods fields evolve. It's wonderful. So happy to be able to take the time with you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you, Jeff.